People might wonder, why are we students of policy, politics, and governance, and we're talking about private sector? Believe me, I've worked in private sector for over 15 years. At the end of the day, we've realized that Nigeria cannot fix itself. The public sector cannot fix itself. We need public and private sector relationship and interchangeableness. So that is very, very key, and that is why this is important. We need to understand what is the character of leadership in the private sector. Since leadership is the bane of existence of any organization or any structure, how will we develop the private sector in a way that we can work together with the public sector and solve some of Nigerians' challenges? So in terms of the private sector, it's important that leaders have their values. We look at our politicians expecting them to have values. We look at them expecting them to be perfect. What about the CEOs and the COOs and the CTOs? All of those in C-suite. I tell a lot of my management executives that I've coached over the years that leadership starts from the top. It's not an HR problem. We usually think, oh, when human resources is not solving the problem, then comes an organization. No, it is a leadership problem. So the way you carry yourself, your values as a person, your personal values, it comes to play into how your organization is structured. And we also say in the people profession that culture really starts from the values of the founders of an organization or the people at the echelons of power. So it's important that we understand that the private sector's leadership structure needs to be emboldened, needs to be strengthened. They need to see values of life. And one of the things I also learned in this class, right, is that everybody has an agenda. From the class, we talked about greed being an agenda from private sector, not public sector. You think there's only public sector. No, private sector, there's greed, there's conflict, there's so many, there's agenda. Everybody has agenda. And so we need to figure out how to reshape all of that, how to understand that, yes, greed for profit is not the only thing in the world for private sector. Yes, make the money, but come and use it to better the life of the citizens in the country. One of the things that stood out for me is the word alignment, and I never seen it that way. Abubakar Suleiman was an amazing faculty. He talked about alignment, that if we really want public and private partnership to work, we must have alignment. So if the public sector is seeking help or support from the private sector, we must align in terms of what exactly do we want to do. If a company's value is maybe sustainability, that tends towards a bit of climate change. Now, if you have a climate change supported project, you would get audience there. But imagine you take education there, and they are not really so keen on education, then you're going to be wasting your time, you're going to be wasting your money, you're going to be stopped. So you need to understand in terms of private sector, what is this company, what do they want to do? Go check their report, go check their annual report, look at their values, understand how it's broken down, go for their event or listen to them on YouTube. There's so much information online. Figure out what direction are they headed for their 3 to 5 year strategy, if you can get a hand of it, and then let's figure out what public sector projects we can align or what public sector ministry can align on it, both on a short term or in a long term. But that alignment is very, very important. And lastly, I would say, if you're in the private sector, this is not beyond you. You're not in the private sector and just no, all those politicians are just no, we're all doing this together. We must have leadership both in private sector and in public sector to solve Nigeria's challenges. Thank you very much.